Educate your clients on the importance of maintaining an electrical system. Electrical components are not intended to last forever. They need to be replaced. They wear out. They do their job 24 hours a day, and it's mostly an inconvenience.
Usually, so back in the days when they would wire in for oven, they would use, I think it was number 6 aluminum, if I'm correct. And then when they get to that point right there, they would use these blue wire nuts. They squirt the Lumicon stuff inside it, and it either gets twist and then it gets crimped, and then from that timeline until the 80s, 90s, or 2000, that connection fails, and that fire actually starts right there. I've also seen where fire starts at the panel with aluminum wires, panels that haven't been, checked for maintenance or anything. It hasn't been opened in like 50, 60 years, where aluminum has failed in there, and it'll start arcing. A lot of times the panel will actually contain, but it'll actually contain the arcing and everything inside, but all the home runs and everything just gets toasted.
It's a very costly repair.
Yeah, and then it will take out half their garage. For me, I've always seen kitchen and garage. Kitchen and garage is where the two main fires always come from.
That's exactly why I created the maintenance program that we actually offer our customers. Do a thorough health check on everything to make sure those potentials are, at least on a yearly basis, being checked and tightened and visually looked at. We also go through with them with a thermal imaging camera to ensure there's no hidden hot spots in there, that everything's working good. You can avoid a lot of that, or at least greatly less on the chances of somebody having a catastrophic failure, like you're saying. When, usually in a panel fire, they will contain it. Now, I've seen houses burn down because of that. When it gets outside of the panel, that's the problem right there. Panel is when it gets outside the panel. If it's a flush mount panel on a wall, can it get enough oxygen to start breathing? And you got your building material in there is flammable. Every scenario is different. It's just
Wires burn up,
but it's very expensive. Not only now you have a panel change, but you'd have a lot of repaired wires. So, you could be looking at a $20,000 repair plus any fire damage just for that portion of it that could have been prevented by maintenance. That's something that I really want to stress on in the future for at least for us, and even other electricians that listen to our podcast. Educate your clients on the importance of maintaining an electrical system. Electrical components are not intended to last forever. They need to be replaced. They wear out. They do their job 24 hours a day, and they do fail.
Yeah.
And when they fail, hopefully nothing horrible happens, and most commonly they don't. It just stops working, and it's mostly an inconvenience. But there's that risk, like in the panels you're mentioning, especially with the aluminum wire house. And I don't want people to say, well, I have all my wiring, it's copper, so I'm safe. Copper still needs maintenance. It still should be checked and tuned up and maintained. It should be tightened up. You want to make sure any old connections get replaced. Breakers wear out. They don't necessarily wear out and not work. They just wear out to where they fail. They either fail in one of two ways. They stop continuing electricity to the home, so then now you're inconvenienced, or they stop protecting the wiring so they don't trip when they're supposed to, and then therefore now you have a hazardous or dangerous situation. And I think maintenance and proper upkeep on your electrical system, which is very much neglected today, should be a little more. Equipment and appliance usage just goes up. People now are really going fully electric on everything, so they're putting a lot more of a demand on that electrical panel, and there's a lot of parts in that panel that can fail. The more of the demand you put on it when you're changing stuff like gas water heater to electric, you're going from gas cooktop to induction. You're going to heat pump HVAC systems to you're going from gas furnace heating and air conditioning systems to heat pump systems, which are all electric. Putting solar systems on your house, you're charging batteries for your house. There's a lot of components here that are just adding to everything you just mentioned that is inside of an electrical panel. If you have an older house with aluminum wiring, yeah, absolutely, very dangerous. Fix that right away. But even with the copper one, you have an older house, you're updating, and you're going all electric. You want to make sure that your infrastructure and your system that you have can safely handle what you're adding to it.
I remember a guy had was it a 1986 Stingray Corvette, beautiful, like mint condition, like he rebuilt it and everything, and he had a couple other cars and this, that, and he had issue on his panel, but guess what? After his garage burned down, and it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
We were asked the question. We both been in the fire restoration industry, and we've done a lot of repairs, and we've walked a lot of homes the aftermaths, with the fire investigator, with the insurance companies, and walking through those homes changes the way you think about electricity. Any electrician out there, they could be as good as they think they are, probably very good electricians. But until you see actually the devastation of what can happen by the smallest little electrical problem, or maybe something that wasn't taken care of when it should have, it changes your outlook on how we work with our customers. You and I are rifling in sync with this. And, we're going to approach a customer with electrical needs much differently than somebody else who might show up and just say, oh, let's just replace the breaker. It makes for good. We're going to approach it with a much deeper understanding or concern. When you walk through a house and the carpets are wet from the firefighters fighting the fire, and you see burnt photo albums, and you see toys from the kids playing.
I remember being in the fire restoration where every year I would probably see anywhere between 10 to 15 Christmas trees just on fire.
The usage of LED Christmas lights does greatly improve on the safety of that particular fire hazard, because the old incandescent Christmas lights were a big load, especially when you're stringing several together. A common install for those would be taking out the lamp from like your exterior coach lamp and putting in an adapter that's screwed into that light socket, and that adapter would take a small extension cord. So then people would take and put these small extension cords in there, then run strings of Christmas lights. And I probably have seen a half a dozen homes in the time frame that I was working on that were around the Christmas time that were started by an undersized extension cord on a modified lamp socket.
Yeah.
And installing too many Christmas lights on that circuit.
Yeah. Sparky from National Fire, or was it National Lampoon Christmas Vacation?
Oh yeah,
The cat. Also, remember that little switch downstairs that she flipped on and turned on everything?
Right.
Yeah. I always make fun of that every year. We actually watch that every year, and where he stringed up like literally like like trillion lights to this one switch.
Yeah.
To one circuit. It didn't make sense in the movie because people perceive that you can actually string up all these lights to one circuit. It makes people think that you can just continuously add loads after load after load after load on one circuit, and it would not do anything.
I think people do what they just don't know what they don't know, because they're not electricians. They don't know. They just know they want it to look a certain way. If you're going to do a huge Christmas outing, man, just check with an electrician. Most guys, like, if you were to call us, we were to come out, and you're one of our customers, we're not going to charge you to come out and give you some safety advice.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to be in the area sometime. Why don't we come by? You're going to be around. Give me an idea of what you're doing. Let's just make sure you're going to be safe. Make sure you're not plugging too many things into an undersized extension cord or something that's not GSCI protected, or there's more to it than just strings and lights. But for the homeowners that do a lot of their own, as long as they're GFCI protecting stuff and they have a maintained system, the system should protect it. Breakers are there to protect overturns. Running the right size cores to the equipment you're running is really important. Read the size cores and calculate what it is you're putting out there. If you don't know, give someone a call. Give us a call. Don't take for granted that just because you plug it in, it works for now, that it's fine. Not if you're doing a lot of stuff. Now, if you're just putting a couple lights in the front, you're fine. But if you're doing the Griswolds?
Yeah, and back then it was incandescent too. So I think with LEDs now, it's a lot safer.
It is, but I just still think most people take for granted electricity. When it's working, it's working. There's not a problem. I'll call somebody when there's a problem. You don't want to do that, because when there's a problem, it could be too late, or it could be very costly. You just want to catch it now. Make sure the one largest investment that most people have, and that's their home, just give it a little bit of love. Have it looked at by a professional, and make sure it's got a clean bill of health. Make sure they're doing their due diligence when they're looking at your system, to make sure they know exactly what you're doing, and ensure, comforting you that it's safe, or if it's not safe, these are the steps I would take.